Paul Menard in the 98 with Bobby Labonte, a 6-time winner here, and they're fighting for a spot inside the top 20.
But I think we're really starting to see some comers and goers. This is a longer green run than we had the last time, and we're starting to see a lot of guys really lose a handle on these race cars, and now we're starting to see who really is strong on the long run, like that 11 car and like Casey Kane, our leader.
I like that car right there. It's strong on all the run.
What are you thinking for pit stops, Larry? 10 more laps or so?
I would say about 15.
Okay, we'll be back.
The Kobalt Tools 500 is sponsored by AT&T, a better 3G experience. By Nationwide Insurance. Call or visit us online for a quote today. And by Kobalt Tools. Kobalt, the next generation of tough tools.
Caution is out for the 4th time today for debris in turn number 2, likely from when Clint Boyer, trying to keep from going a lap down to the number 9 of Casey Kane, got up and into the wall and then gave Kane an anxious moment that took away some of his 5-second lead. The caution flag took away the rest. So we are under caution. Boyer gets the free pass. Pit road is open. And Matt.
The Bud guy's up on the wall waiting for Casey Kane. Kenny Francis told Casey, stop short in your box once again, because the 48 of Johnson will probably stop short in his. Slight air pressure change on the right front. The car just a little tight early in the run. Dick?
Juan Pablo Montoya had slid back to the 4th position. They are adjusting the chassis to try to give him better forward bite. No one in front of him. He's got an easy out, Krista.
The 11 good on the long runs. They're putting air back in the right front. Steve?
Kurt Busch says he's good, not great. I'm tight getting in, loose off. They've dropped the air pressure of both front tires for Kurt Busch.
And it's Busch that leads them off pit road. Now, where was his brother Kyle? While we were away, Kyle had made a pit stop under green and came back out. So likely he'll take the wave around.
Look at our leader, Casey Kane. That 9 car lost 6 spots on that pit stop. It just... things are just congested in the area where he's pitting and Jimmy Johnson in that 48.
Too many good cars right there together.
Let's get downstairs to Chris Myers and Jeff Hammond for an AT&T race break.
Thanks, Mike. Casey Kane won at Atlanta over the Labor Day weekend. He has dominated here, Jeff, in the last win for a Petty Ford all the way back in 1969 at Martinsville. As we recap the start of this race today, on the pole was Dale Earnhardt Jr., but has not led a single lap in this race. That's Kyle Busch, who led 22 laps early. Robbie Gordon, not off to a good start.
Loses the left rear tire right there about the 4th lap of the race. You see the carcass coming off, spins the 7 car up in the outside wall. His day's pretty much done.
And then David Reagan, a Georgia native, tires playing in. He had scraped the wall a little earlier, another tire issue.
Yeah, it blows the right front, sends the number 6 car up in the outside safer barrier. He's in the garage also.
Brad Keselowski gets into Carl Edwards, and Carl was polite about it, but it caused this mix-up with Joey Logano, and out of the race for the moment for Carl Edwards, who's had great success here. But we have had, as we just saw moments ago, more tire problems. Is that more related with a new tire here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, or is it the way guys are running their cars early?
It's a combination of all the above. Yes, the new tire here has got a little more grip, and the guys, I think, have had problems with air pressure, maybe getting it too low, trying to get more grip here at this particular racetrack, because the racetracks wore out, Chris, and we're seeing those issues because of that, as well as sometimes the guys making contact. These tires are not that durable. You get into the sidewall, you can damage them, and then all of a sudden you see what the problems come up from it.
All right, we've heard our guys talking about running high, running low. Obviously, your car dictates some of that, but is there a better one to go if everything's equal?
Here at Atlanta, I'd like to get my car to be able to work up on the top side. It's a little easier, I think, on the tires, especially the right side tires. And the day we keep harping on it is keep the drop off as far as wearing the tires out and abusing them too much to where all of a sudden you start slowing down. We've seen guys start off in a 30-second bracket. In a matter of 10 or 15 laps, they're running 32-second laps. That's the drop off I'm talking about.
And the weather, it hit 60 here, but not as sunny and not as warm as I think they thought it would be. So you hear guys complaining about fixing a tight condition. How is that figuring into this?
Well, you just got to keep working with it. You got to work with air pressure. You got to work with the wedge as well as the track bar. And again, if you can get your car, I think, to run around the top of the racetrack. And we've seen some guys that I think have been kind of surprised to me. Tony Stewart, he's running the top of the racetrack while Casey Kane's running the bottom of the racetrack, just the opposite of where I thought you'd find these guys.
Be sure to cast your vote all season long for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The standings from last week. Your AT&T phone is where you can text the car number for the crew you think is the best in each race. Text it to 2258. Delivered by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network.
And Chris, while we're talking about pit crews, I don't think that the 9 guys are going to be very happy because they had a pretty slow stop.
Kane losing 6 spots. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Well, let's show it to you. Here's Casey coming in. He makes the stop right on the mark. Look in front of him, though. Jimmy Johnson starts way back of his box to keep from getting blocked in.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. This is where there's so much congestion, and this is what happens when you have a good car, but you're pitting in front of the leader. But you can just see it was just a little bit of trouble across the board, right side, left side, the whole stop on that 9 car. Now let's take a look and compare it to Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch came in running 3rd, goes out leading the race. Kasey Kahne comes in leading the race, goes out 7th. Our gold standard time is based off of a 48 stop that we got these numbers. You can see just across the board, it was just off. Right side getting around with the jack, and the left side, it's just a little bit all the way across the board. The difference for Kasey Kahne losing 6 spots on that pit stop.
Getting ready to restart with 83 of 325 laps complete. Why don't you crank it up and we'll let them go for the green flag. Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. have a run. Jr. threads the needle, comes down right in front of the 11th of Denny Hamlin, and moves alongside Stewart for 2nd place.
That was a nice pass right there. Set the 11 up, got in there. Nice pass.
Steve?
Mike, on the last run, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said the car started out tight, but the longer he went, the better it got. It did get a little loose late in the last run, but he likes his race car.
And here comes Montoya on the bottom against Stewart.
And, you know, we're talking about Dale Jr. One of the things that we wanted him to do today, or one of the things we hoped he could do today, was be up front, be competitive, and not fall back through the field. So far, so good.
I tell you what, you keep him where he can see that leader, he'll stay after that leader.
Problem's going to be seeing the leader. Kurt Busch up to half a straightaway lead on this group. Earnhardt, Montoya, Stewart, and then it'll be Jeff Gordon in 5th. Matt?
And Mike, when you talk about tire management, a lot of crew chiefs are saying the wear that you're getting more here at Atlanta is similar to Darlington, and you're not only working on your tires, but you're working on the right front or the right rear as far as how much to abuse it. For Jeff Gordon, he was a little too tight that last run. Steve Letarte said we're going to have to shift the balance a little more toward the free side because there was some considerable wear on the inside shoulder down to the cords on that right front.
But Darrell, you know, back in the day, you would come here, go to Darlington, you would just kind of play things easy in the beginning. These guys now, they're running qualifying laps every time the green flag's put out.
But it's always been too, Larry, that the longer we race, the more into the race we get, the better tire wear the wear in the tires will improve, and so I think we'll see that today. But one of the concerns, and you mentioned this, is camber. That's how much the tire is leaned in, and you can wear the inside of these tires out if you have too much camber. The car will turn, it'll make it turn. It's hard on that right front tire.
Paul Menard, Ryan Newman, 17th place. They have had close company all day. And at the front, what happened? Kasey Kahne moving ahead of Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin, busting through to try to chase down Kurt Busch.